Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to try to make this video as quickly as I can. And it's an improv, so there's really nothing fancy going on other than the Addams Family filter here. You might not get amazing commentary from yours truly. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Styx. I've been noticing a decline, and I saw in the last 24 hours a few videos that got me to make this one. So you had Romanian TV that talked about Styx the other day. I think if you guys are still paying attention to my community post that I abuse oh so often, is Styx LARPing or is he genuine? Like, he's surprised. V is surprised that Styx was doing rituals, as he pointed out in the video. Well, as somebody who's been watching Styx for a very long time, and we're talking at the beginning when he was making his occult video series, when he was, I think, petering off of, he wasn't connecting so much with Satanism anymore. I've been watching him for a long time. So that has a little something for me. You know, somebody you've been watching for a long time, that you respect their views, all of a sudden is kind of going on a decline, and it's not necessarily a coincidence because you're starting to see that with other YouTubers. Like, the guy was having, I don't know what personal issues he's having, but they're like the details anyways, but obviously he's no longer in the Netherlands. He is not married to Elizabeth's philosophy anymore. That's pretty much over. Then the whole ex-girlfriend thing happened when he was on that live stream. Like, I remember seeing Styx, like, live stream, and I saw the thumbnail. I see this chick, and she's like this brunette. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on? And I see this girl with a hat on, earbuds, and Styx isn't there. It's like, whoa, I'm very bamboozled. Like, I was not expecting that at all. And I thought that there was something really off between Styx's interaction with her. There was something very off about it. Now, the guy was drunk. The guy was fucking drunk, and he was ogling her live on the stream, groping her breasts. Now, I'm not a fucking fan of that. Like, it just felt, there was tension there. There was something going on. I don't think she even wanted to be part of it, but it felt off for me. And I didn't like seeing that. I mean, can you, like, imagine if I was drunk online and I was doing a live stream with my other half and I was, grabbing his meat and two veg? I don't think he would like that so much. Okay? So I didn't like seeing that. So there was that shit, and then he goes down to New Orleans. And then the whole battery thing happened. And so he kept going back and forth, and then he ends up in New York at some point, and then he goes back to New Orleans. Like, the timeline is very all over the place. But what I thought was interesting was there were two videos that I had seen that were from 5 months ago in response to the video that Styx had done, talking about that the DA that was overlooking his case offed himself. And he started talking about chaos magic. I saw two videos, and I didn't even see that. Like, it's like, I thought this sort of video that Styx had done would have made a little bit of waves, but a lot of people were roasting him in the comments section. And they were all saying, well, this is what happens when you say you do a pact with a demon and blah, 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 and chaos magic. So on the surface level, it doesn't look good. Then V makes a video, surprised that occultism is not just an intellectual pursuit. It's something that he actually engages in. But is it true, though? So this is where I want to talk about this whole thing. Because I have some thoughts. As somebody who does practice chaos magic, as somebody who is on the left-hand path, I don't call myself a black magician, because to be honest, I don't really know what to call myself. I never called myself a Luciferian, even though I was utilizing that archetype for a while, but now it's just more of a broad sense of just a left-hand path practitioner. Chaot, I think that's appropriate. So it really does depend. Now, for me, on the surface level, I could see why people think, what the fuck? This is what happens when you do pacts with demons. This is what happens when you practice chaos magic. I mean, chaos magic, I'll be honest with you guys, whether you do chaos magic or not, shit's gonna happen. Okay? But in terms of how much is Styx LARPing, I cannot prove it to you. But going off on V for a second here. The guy was writing books, re-editing these things. And there have been videos, like looking at his occult literature list and his occult video playlist. He has actually mentioned about doing long-term chaos magic rituals. So that's not necessarily just simply an intellectual pursuit. The guy has like a lot of fucking videos on the topic. But that's the thing, like when you're a practitioner, normally when you're a solitary practitioner, you're not necessarily going to get into the meat and bones of your rituals. If you do, there's probably a reason why you're going to do that. But I'm not necessarily a fan of showing what it is that people do. I think that's a private thing. Now, if you want to go out of your way to show your altar and whatever the fuck, and use it for educational purposes, I say go right the fuck ahead. You see it in my videos, not just the over clutter of my sister's shit in the background, but if you notice on the corner, the altar is right there. So it's not like it's a mystery at this point. It's nothing fucking new. So yeah, Styx does, as he claims, and I believe it, that he claims to be doing rituals. Now, what's the extent and the power of how these rituals are effective? I cannot tell you. I cannot fucking tell you. What I think is going on is there's this thing in the occult community that's called spiritual bypassing, where you're using spirituality to shield or cover up your personal issues. Now, you could utilize spirituality to better your issues. It's not a quick fix, but it's something to help you. That's why people get into spirituality. That's why people get back to religion, to give them a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, something fulfilling, to help you get back on track, because there's something there. There's like an emptiness, or you know that there's something there that isn't necessarily helping you. You know, you're filling in a void that is not necessarily a good idea. Now, I think what's happening is Styx is kind of going through his own personal spiral, and he's probably LARPing in the sense of he might have done these fucking rituals, but he's probably hyping it up and taking ownership of that. But at the same fucking time, he has unresolved issues that he's probably hiding behind. Surface level, guys, this is the best I could give you. I cannot get into the meat and bones of it because I don't know. I'm not living this guy's fucking life. I don't know. But what I want to say, as somebody who sees this, and has also talked to other left-hand path practitioners, whether they call themselves a black adept, a black magician, whatever term you want to call yourself, it really doesn't fucking matter. What I think is very interesting when people want to talk about chaos magic, don't just simply look at what's happening with Styx. If you actually want to get into understanding how a little bit of this shit is done, or what's the point of chaos magic, look into it. Just see what it's about. Look at some of the fucking authors. You can even find Condensed Chaos and Libernol and Psychonaut. Some of these books that talk about chaos magic. just to give you an idea of what's up. You could probably find these books online for free. I know I definitely did. Wasn't a fan of Psychonaut, though. I didn't really care for it. But Condensed Chaos and Liber Null was very insightful in giving me a better understanding of magic. And I'm not necessarily a fan of ceremonial. It's too glitzy and glamour, although I could appreciate the aesthetics behind it. Chaos magic, for me, I utilize it differently. Like, I'm not going to get into the meat and bones of that, but it's just to say that on the surface, when you talk about chaos magic, when he's gloating about stuff like that, and I think that's also a cope. It may not be a cope. But then there's also, oh yeah, he's a Satanist, even though he might have said he's a former Satanist. It could be bluff, but I don't know. Then there's also making a pact with a demon. Now, I'm just going to say this for some people that do not interact with other left-hand path practitioners. I'll just say this. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. Whether you're a chaot, whether you're a left-hand path practitioner, despite the label. What will happen is the point of this path is to reach self-deification. And along the way, the demons or daemons, these intelligences that are kind of hard to explain, that have been demonized, whether you want to call it as an archetype. I use these guys as an archetype. The idea of Lucifer, like, what is that point? Like, what are the qualities of Lucifer that you're taking on? What is it that you're trying to embody? And then there's the energetic aspect and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So you have all these things that are happening, and it will happen at times. Well, spiritually, you're going to hit rock bottom. That's the path. There are left-hand path practitioners that will utilize this thing, and I don't think a lot of yous will like it, but I'll just say it anyways, that will use what's called the Qliphoth, the tree of death. That's the shadow aspect of the tree of life, okay? And they will sometimes tell you stories of them having to descend really fucking hard in order to rise themselves up back again, to achieve that gnosis, to achieve that enlightenment, to achieve a proper integration of their shadows. So what I think is going on with Styx is a lack of integration of shit going on in his fucking life. That's happening. And so he's hitting rock bottom, and it's manifesting. You're seeing that. That to me is like, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Even if you're like a God-fearing person, you're doing everything right. That's not life, guys. That's not life. People want to turn around and say, well, I don't want to mess with that shit. Then don't mess with it. Don't touch it, don't do it. That's fine. But it will happen. These things will fucking happen. Everybody wants to blame all these external forces. That's not the problem here. These are things that are utilized, and at the end of the night, you're the one that's fucking responsible. He's the one that's responsible for his alcoholism. Is he bettering himself? Is he trying to? Now, is this another case of hello pot meet kettle sort of thing? Yeah, like the timeline's a little bit off and a little bit fucked up, and I think it's a mix of both in terms of him being genuine and as a cope to a point. Now, I feel weird even myself having to psychoanalyze this guy because I don't have all the fucking answers. This is just my own opinion. I don't have proof of it. I'm just going off of what it is that I've experienced with this path, utilizing chaos magic. But I don't necessarily do pacts with any demons. I'm not a fan of pacts in general. I'm just not a fan of contracts in general. Why? Because I'm a selfish prick. I want things to go my way, and if I find a loophole, I'd like to take advantage of it. I find pacts and contracts are a bit constraining. I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but with me, in my own personal practice, it's more of a mentor-mentee guidance type of relationship. That's essentially what it boils down to. And what's my pursuit at the end of the night? I already fucking told you. What's the point of the left-hand path? It's that self-mastery. Now, whatever Styx, and Styx has talked about, promoting liberty, promoting not necessarily in these words, self-improvement, yeah, but he doesn't use the word self-mastery. Well, what's really the fucking difference? Is it you want to better your life? Okay, let's do it. But even those that are trying to better their life, you don't think for one fucking second that they don't have their own struggles? We don't know this shit. This is why, and here's the other thing. It's hard to say because it seems like almost everybody online is a fucking grifter. It's really difficult to discern these things. And so for me, whenever I see these guys that are out there critiquing Styx and whatever the fuck, I just say to myself, you know what? Some of their critiques, I could consider it. Am I going to be insulted for Styx personally? There's no point. Just hear what they have to say, take it into consideration, formulate your own opinion, and that's it. That's really all I could do. But whatever's going on with him, you definitely see shit's hitting the fucking fan. You definitely see it. Now, I might be missing out on details. Most likely I am. But at the end of the night, in terms of the spiritual aspect, I think this is just a natural progression of somebody who has their own personal shit that they have to fucking deal with and gloating about it. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. That's all ego. Might be real, might not be real. So I can't necessarily say. But yeah, so I hope Styx is going to be, so hopefully he's going to do better. But I'm not liking the decline. But it's, I think that's just inevitable. It wouldn't be normal if Styx wasn't going through shit. Everybody goes through shit at some fucking point. Even with me. Even today. The last few hours I've been, since last week rather, I've been feeling very shitty about myself. Despite the fact that there is a path that I want to undergo the self-mastery. You don't think we don't have our bad days? You don't think, guys, shit happens. We'll be off a peg or two. Yeah, it's a difficult path. No one said that this path was an easy thing. Nobody said it was easy. If it was, everybody probably would be doing it. But it's not a path that everyone will do. It's not an easy thing. Even if you're utilizing chaos magic or not, it doesn't fucking matter. Shit's gonna happen regardless. So anyways, that's it. Want to give my input on that. Hopefully, he's not gonna screw things up even further, but we could blame these things all we want. His choice. It's his choice. So that's it. Peace out.